And yeah, we would work out in the gym together, and then we'd sit out in the parking lot some nights, wouldn't we, Mike?
Yeah.
And man, we would just talk, and not about sports and not dirty jokes and stupid stuff. I mean, we would talk about life, and that's counseling, right? That's what I mean. It means being vulnerable and transparent with your brother, right? Or your sister. But don't be afraid of that, because that is where power comes from. If we think about this, if we keep the fear bottled up inside each other, our power cannot be released, because the power that was given to each of us to do great things is being held down by fear. But if I talk to Mike and my fear is erased or removed, then my greatness that was put inside of me can come forth. So it has nothing to do with being weak or anything like that. This is how you get strong.
Yeah,
trying to hold everything in is not strength. It causes you to become extremely weak.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thanks for sharing that. That really, really hit home with me. What one strategy or recipe could we as police officers consistently apply every day that would compound into big wins for us? And not only us, but our fellow officers. And
absolutely. And again, since I teach life, right? I don't just teach law enforcement or IT or military medicine, which I used to, no, I teach life. So here it is. It goes back to how I start each of my days, but the rule for me, right? There's a rule, a guiding principle for my life. Take care of myself first, so I can take care of others. The job as a police officer is serve and protect, right? I mean, and the job of the military, and first, yes, I get that. If you're a father, if you're a mother, take care of your kids. I get that, right? If you're the provider of your family, I get that. But if I don't do the things to take care of myself first, physically, mentally, and spiritually, I am not going to be able to take care of all the ones that I say are important to me for a long period of time or well enough, because I'm going to run out of gas, right? I'm not going to be whole enough. If I ignore myself at the expense of other people, I'm going to be gone. So that time I give myself in the morning by myself, that's me with that guiding principle, taking care of myself first so I can take care of others. And that's the rule. That's the strategy, the recipe right there that has compounding big wins. Because I take care of myself first in the morning. I get my mindset right before my family wakes up, before I interact with any other human being, right? And then I'm ready. Then I do my gym stuff, right? So that I'm physically strong enough at my age to keep doing this as long as God's got me here on this earth to do stuff, right? And then the spiritual life, right? Those all kind of become one thing, and they all become for the purpose of doing whatever I'm called to do, right? Now we have professions. My profession just happens to mean on any given day, I want to help whoever is put in my path, right? I want to leave a person better than when we met each other. And you know me, Mike, I think you see that that's what I try to do. But again, everything starts with that rule that it's kind of like the golden rule for me, right? Do unto others as you would do, have them do unto you. But I mean, for me, it has to start with me. If I can't take care of me, how can I actually take care of somebody else? So
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, because I know you're really busy with your businesses. I know that you've been real busy here lately. And I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast and kind of sharing your knowledge, because you're obviously knowledgeable about this stuff and you're obviously passionate about it. And I really think that officers, and I say officers, this is an instructor's podcast, but I guess we could say that this episode is covers everybody.
This one really does. It's not special techniques to make you a better police officer. I mean, this is about making anybody a better person, right? And how do you start them? Because we focused on mindset. So how do you control that from the very moment you wake up until you go to bed at night, right? And just this last thing, I know we're probably running up on our time here, but when we're really in the battle, right, of whatever it is, kind of think about it. I know I said I don't have any kind of 7-step processes, but you got to be able to pause, right? You got to recognize what's going on. You just got to pause for a second, look at it from another perspective, which is what your officer did, right? He paused. He knew he was angry. He paused. He thought about it from the other person's perspective. And then he took the right next step, right? So it's the preparatory time. You can start your day off right with great mindset. And then if you use these other things that we talked about today, as events occur during the day, as you have the opportunity to make a choice. And by the way, we all have the ability to make choices all day long on every single thing. And if you allow somebody else to make a choice for you, that was a choice. You made it. So you don't get to blame anybody else.
Wow.
You take control of your life, right? Take control of your mindset and make choices that affect your life in the way that you want them to. So,
man, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Again, this is episode 2 of the Police Instructors Podcast, and we have been blessed with Chris Vrooman coming on as a guest to be with us today. And I tell you what, this has been amazing, and I really appreciate your time. Tell them again where they could go to find out about your businesses.
You bet. So for the individual kind of coaching, or if you wanted me to come into your departments or things like that and work with you in your business settings, you do that by getting a hold of Mike. No, really, you get a hold of me, through Mike. I really do that work on a referral basis by people who have already worked with me. So if they're giving you my name, I'm going to assume that means they feel like I served them in a very good way, right, of value. So I do that all referral based. So if you want to find out more about me that way, contact Mike. He's got my email address and my phone number. I'll let him do the good talking.
I was just going to say, they can get in touch with me at my email address at info@thinbluelearn.com. That's info@thinbluelearn.com. Send me an email and I'll get you two in touch.
Yeah, there you go. And then for the Journey Training, that's the nonprofit company that I talked about. That's those weekend seminars, which are personal growth, life coaching weekend seminars. And it's a couple of weekends that you commit to, and they're usually a month apart. That you can find by going to www.thejourneytraining.com. The Journey Training is all one word, no spaces or hyphens or anything. So www.thejourneytraining.com. And there you can see more information about the programs that we offer. You can see more testimonials from people who've been through. You can look and see when the next courses are. And then we'll go from there.
Thanks, Chris. Again, this is episode 2 of the Police Instructors Podcast with Chris Vrooman. Thank you so much, man, and I'll see you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
That's all for this episode of Police Instructors Podcast. Be sure to visit onlinepoliceinstructors.com to get access to all of our episodes. While you're there, sign up to get notified when new episodes are available and get access to our free video series where we show you what it takes to move your training to the internet. Learn to leverage the power and flexibility of the internet and move your training online in a way that facilitates learning retention here on the Police Instructor Podcast.